Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, we are looking at the files that we are going to use to run this whole project. And first on the list, we are looking at the Ansible CFG. So on the Ansible CFG, there's nothing special. It's just um, a directory-based Ansible configuration file, which I'll be using to run my notes. And because the playbook or the rulebook is going to trigger playbooks. And as a matter of fact, we need to get the Ansible CFG to have the configuration for the Ansible playbook, which is going to be executed. So first of all, I have the inventory file stated over here, and I have the path to the logs over here, and I have other minimal configurations defined over here. The Ansible CFG is quite big, so you can choose to add whatever you want. Now, the next in line is the inventory file. So basically, the inventory file contains the parameters that we will need to connect to our host device. And I have all this explained here in the Ansible files documentation. So everything is well explained here. So you can just visit my Gitbook and check from there. Now, the next on the list, sorry. Okay, so we are back and I had to refresh my web page. And as you can see, we have the parameters defined for the Ansible inventory file. Now, next on the list is the rulebook itself. So the rulebook is what is going to be listening for events from the service server. And how do we have in the rulebook? Just a simple name for the rulebook. So I can just change it, but I'll keep it that way. And I have all hosts. And in the host, I have a lot of hosts. I have my core devices and also have my local host stated over there. And how do we have that? The next is the rules. So the rules is what actually defines event-driven Ansible. So the first rule is the stateful failover. So basically, the stateful failover simply means that when the primary link goes down, or let's say the NNI goes down. So for example, when this interface goes down, there should be a stateful failover to this particular PE, and this is what you mostly find in service provider environments. So the next one that we have is the event payload, then the event. So the next one that we have over here is the event payload value. So when there's a problem triggered by service, we are going to see something of a value equal to 1. So let me show you what I mean over here. So when there's a problem and the payload is sent to the event-driven Ansible, when you check on the event value, it's going to equal 1. Okay, so once the event value in the payload defined is equals to 1, we are going to run this particular playbook, which is the NNI down.yaml. Same applies to the stateful switchover. So basically the explanation is that when the link is restored on the NNI, there's going to be a stateful switchover back to the core PE. So now, instead of the branch side going all over to the backup PE, the branch traffic will be redirected back to here because now the interface has been restored and there's connectivity over here. So you see all the logics that goes in for the traffic to switch over to the backup PE and back to the primary PE. So the next one is the switchover, as I said. Now for the recovery, so the stateful switchover only triggers when there's a recovery, and the recovery is equals to 0. So we can check from here. So this is the payload for the recovery, and for the recovery, the event value is equals to 0. So this is the item that you are looking for in the payload. So based on these items, this particular item is where we will define our conditions. Okay, so when you check, you see that on the condition we are looking for 0 for recovery, and then on the problem we are looking for 1 on the when an event is triggered. So the next we have in line is the NNI. So it's not anything special. I have every detailed explanation in the documentation. So it's basically going to run on this core switch 1, and then we gather interfaces, facts about the interfaces, and then we set a variable, this. So we are looking for, within this particular facts of the interfaces gathered from the device, we are looking for this particular interface, which is the NNI. And as you can see, this is it. And then we check the operational status to be equal to administratively down. Now, the reason why you are seeing administratively down is because I will manually shut down the interface. But then in a normal production environment, it will be only down, not administratively down. And then this particular variable will be asserted only when this particular interface is in this data returned from the fast gathering. So the next we have in line is the link assurance. So the link assurance basically means that before we continue to execute the playbook, when this condition has been met, we have to wait for 1 minute. The reason being that sometimes the link will flap in the service provider network. So links can flap, and if we don't take assurance of the link and we just trigger the playbook, it's going to cause a whole lot of instability in the network. So it's better that we create a link assurance for the playbook. So this is just 1 minute. You can as well add any value that you want. And now what you're going to do is that because normally in service provider environments, when a link is flapping or in network environments, when a link is flapping and let's say you have two paths for the link to work, we can just shut down the interface here and enable a backup interfaces here, a backup interface here. So that's basically how it's going to work. So what we have here is that we are going to shut down the client's interface on the core P1. So we just shut it down, and this condition, this playbook relies on this particular condition. So this condition has to be met in order for the playbook to shut down this interface on the core P1. Now, the next task in the play is that it's the same thing, but what we are basically doing here is that because we want to provide quick redundance, or let's say a quick solution to the primary path, we created a backup interface on the core P2 over here, so that when this link fails, the client can fail over here to the core P2. So what we're going to do is that we are going to go on the core P2 and then on enable this interface, and this task 2 is depends on this particular condition. So in all the tasks that we are doing over here, this condition has to be met. The interface has to be down. Other than that, it will not work, and our link assurance will also be based on this particular condition that we have over here. So that's for the NNI down, which will be triggered when there is a problem. Then we have the NNI app, basically the same thing, just had to interchange certain things. So this will also run on the core switch 1 and also the same condition that we have here. But in this case, we are looking for link app because by that time the link will be up. Let's say the provider has restored the link, and this interface has to be in the facts gathered from the list of the interface data gathered from the device or the facts. So based the same thing. So the condition for the link assurance also now. So for the recovery, just to make sure that the link is up and stable, we are pausing for 1 minute before we continue to execute the playbook. This is very important. You can also change the number of minutes to 5, any value that you want. So this has to meet this condition before it can wait for 1 minute. And now what you're going to do is that you're going to shut down just a reverse of the link down. So I'm going to shut the interface on the core P2 and enable the interface on the main interface we had over here. It's the same thing, and then so we shut the interface in core P2 and you are using the delegate 2. So although the playbook is targeted for core switch 1, but we can do switch, like we switch task in the playbook. So we delegate to the core P2 over here. Now we go back to core P1 and then enable the interface. So as simple as that. For better clarification, I have everything here that you can read. You can read and understand whatever is going on, whatever configuration that we used over there. I think this will make more sense because you can reference it at any time for clarification. So thank you for watching this video and see you.